Paul was not afraid of using metaphorical language. Anyone who reads Paul's letters will recognize the many ways he utilizes metaphors in his letters. Over the last couple of days, I've skipped over a couple of metaphors, and I want to circle back and pick up on a couple of them, and then add to them two more metaphors that he introduces in today's reading from 1 Thessalonians. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas, and this is your daily devotional for Thursday, April 25th, 2024. Paul uses a variety of metaphors in 1 Thessalonians to indicate what kind of relationship he has with the church in that city. The first metaphor is father. In chapter 2, verses 11 and 12, for example, he says, "As you know, we dealt with each one of you like a father with his children, urging and encouraging you and pleading that you lead a life worthy of God, who calls you into his own kingdom and glory." He is not, strictly speaking, their father, but he uses this metaphor to indicate a particular facet of their relationship. It is a relationship defined in part as one between unequals. He is the authority, an authority who has standing and has the status to instruct and correct. On the other hand, earlier he had used a very different kind of metaphor. He says, "As you know, we did not seek praise from mortals, though we might have made demands as the apostles of Christ. But we were gentle among you, like a nurse tenderly caring for her own children." This indicates a deeply intimate relationship, one that is more maternal than paternal in nature, one that is more caring in that maternal sense. In today's brief passage, Paul employs two more metaphors, one familiar and one surprising. "As for us, brothers and sisters, when for a short time we were made orphans by being separated from you, in person, not in heart, we longed with great eagerness to see you face to face. For we wanted to come to you. Certainly I, Paul, wanted to again and again, but Satan blocked our way. For what is our hope or joy or crown of boasting before our Lord Jesus Christ at his coming? Is it not you? Yes, you are our glory and joy." Brothers and sisters, he calls the Thessalonians. Or to turn the metaphor around, Paul calls himself a brother to the members of the church. This is yet another family metaphor, but one that places him on equal footing with the church members. But more than equal, one who is related through a common parent, in this case, God. But the really surprising metaphor is when he calls himself an orphan. The New Revised Standard Version, which I routinely read from, adds the words, "by being separated from you," but the Greek simply says, "we were made orphans from you." This term is interesting for a couple of reasons. First, it is the only time this term is used in the New Testament. He could simply have spoken about being separated from the Thessalonians, but he uses this particular metaphor. Why? I suspect it is to underline once again the deeply familial relationship between Paul and the Thessalonians. Only in this case, he is now the child. In fact, he is the orphan child. That's really striking, isn't it? Paul has spoken of relationship with the Thessalonians through three distinct familial metaphors: father, nurse, mother, brother, and now a fourth, orphan child. Now, we don't know the reasons for their separation from one another, only that Paul wishes to return to them, but for some reason has prevented from going back to see them. Could be a conflict with others living in Thessalonica, could be dangers he might face on the journey there. But whatever the reasons, Paul assures and assumes his readers will understand. But it is clear by the way he uses this metaphor that he wants the church members to know that his absence from them is not his wish, but a circumstance imposed by others, a forced separation that leaves him feeling, well, orphaned. Father, mother, brother, orphan. You know, if you didn't know any better, you'd think Paul really loved these people. Tomorrow, finding strength in suffering. But for now, may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.